Thank you, Rush Propst. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, why are you saying thank you to Coach Rush Propst? Oh,
Get your panties out of a bunch. We're saying thank you to Coach Rush Propst, Rush Propst. I call him Mr. Gold Rush because he has done those of us who believe that it's time for the NCAA to change its ways a big favor. He has hopefully garnered or is going to garner enough attention for us to start having a conversation about how the NCAA goes about its business, especially in the area of P5 recruiting. So thank you, Mr. Gold Rush. What up? Welcome to the Hot Button. I'm your host, Isaac Lane, and today on this segment, we got another hot take. Just in case you have not heard, Coach Rush Propst, I call him Mr. Gold Rush, has set the house on fire. Now, some believe that it is a smoke screen, while others may believe that the allegations are true. I'm not going to get into those allegations as far as the two schools and the two coaches that he is throwing under the bus. I'll let them have their own day in NCAA court, if it even goes that far. But for those of us who know football, those of us who are familiar with how the college football game works, especially P5 competition, this is absolutely no surprise. No surprise at all. Some people believe this is a smoke screen because of his own issues, his own skeletons in his closet. Whether or not if the allegations stick, whether if they're true or false, the idea is definitely real. It definitely happens. What is that happens? What is that's real? Coaches and programs and boosters are giving recruits money all the freaking time. Come on, America. Come on now. We know how the game goes. And it is amazing to me how hypocritical the NCAA can be. Because we know that it's not always the team who has the most talent that wins. But many times it's the team that has the biggest bankroll and can make their talent the happiest. And I thank God for Coach Rush. Thank God for Mr. Gold Rush, because this is a necessary conversation and a serious conversation that we need to start having about the NCAA, how corrupt it really is once we remove the layers. Listen, I'm not complaining. I love college football. I love watching it, but it is definitely a conversation worth having. Talking about how the NCAA goes about its business. There is a plethora of insights that we gain from Mr. Gold Rush outing these two coaches in the South. But there's just a few that I want to deal with. And that is this. Here's what we know, and here's the conversation that Mr. Gold Rush, Coach Rush, brings to the forefront. That is this: the idea that the kids come first in college football is absolute bullcrap. Come on. We know that that's bullcrap. The reason why we know that the kids, and they're still kids when they go off to these P5 schools, and I'm not saying every program, but most P5 schools, the reason, or all P5 schools, the reason why we know that is because just look at the coaches. The coach is not hired or fired based upon how much he can invest in the kids, him being a leader of men, transforming these boys into men. The program, the ADs, they could care less about the mentorship that these coaches provide, because no coach has ever been fired because of his lack of mentorship. But he is fired because he cannot extend that bottom line, or he cannot meet the bottom line. What is the bottom line? The bottom line for every P5 institution, speaking of college football, is the money, baby. It is the money. We're talking about P5 schools who are bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars each and every season. And coaches are fired and players are benched. Not because of how good or how bad of a kid or person they are. They are benched and they are fired due to their inability to either produce on the field, or if you are a coach, you are fired because you cannot win the football games. And if you cannot win enough football games, they will cut ties with you ASAP. And if you want to win a lot of football games in P5, you need the best recruits. But what do you do when everybody's P5? What do you do when everybody's got 50, 60,000 fans? You give yourself a competitive advantage in the form of a wad of money. We all know that. We know that that's how they work. So let's not play ourselves. When it comes to the NCAA football as a program, P5, it is all about the dollar. That was proven in this COVID-19. I mean, the SEC and other conferences, some of them didn't even want to have the conversation about postponing the season due to a pandemic because of that bottom line, baby. It's all about the money. And listen, that's just how the system is. That is the nature of the beast. Coaches coach because they're trying to get paid. Players are playing at P5 institutions, not just so they can go out there and get a free concussion, but they're playing because they want to go to the NFL to do what? To get paid. And so the idea that the kids come first at major college football institutions is bullcrap. The second thing that this causes us to talk about is this. These P5 institutions have always been taking advantage of kids shaped in poverty. They've always taken advantage of kids shaped in poverty. Listen, I mean, they're giving them opportunity, but of course they take advantage of kids shaped in poverty. If you're a kid that's shaped in poverty, born in poverty, and you got talent, you got skill, you got P5s coming after you, but one P5 says we're gonna slide you this 20 grand under the table, of course you're gonna take it, and of course you're going to go to that school. Listen, the NCAA has been pimping, and the NCAA has been moving and shaking this game for over 50 years. They have been making money off of the players and the coaches hand over fist for years. And of course, they have been taking advantage of both black and white kids who have been shaped in poverty. But not just the kids that are shaped in poverty, even the kids that come from a little money. This idea of boosters and coaches and teams in college football giving players money as an incentive to join their football team and their program is nothing new. Stop it. Take the halo off. Stop acting like this surprised you. Am I saying the allegations are true? No. But the idea, the foundation of the argument of what he's saying is definitely real. Last but not least, one of the last things we learned from this conversation being brought to the forefront is that the NCAA has a problem in college football. It has a problem. And that problem is in the area of recruiting. See, with Hugh Freeze, Jeremy Pruitt, a long list of others. We see Mr. Gold Rush pulling some people cards. Whether the allegations are true or false, that's neither here nor there. But the NCAA has a historical problem with money and recruiting, with shady dealings with recruiting. Why are the recruiters doing things that they should not be doing? They're doing it to get a competitive advantage. The issue is not the coach. The issue is not them giving the players money or incentives. You know what the issue is? The issue is the freaking rule. Yeah, the NCAA gets to make billions of dollars a year, gets to pay the coaches millions of dollars a year, gets to live in luxury based on the performance of the players, and the players get nothing. And until that changes, stuff like this is going to always take place. So why don't we just all be adults and change the rules? What am I saying? If you don't get it by now, here's what I'm saying. Pay the players. Pay the players. Pay the players. Change the rules. Solve the problem. College football players should get paid. They should get paid. Should they get paid as much as coaches? No, but they should get paid. And if you just change the rules and stop sitting on all that money like some fat cats, then you wouldn't keep running into these issues. And for you athletic directors who love your coaches, think they're great recruiters, and you know what they've been doing, you ought to be pushing for this. Because if you could give the players money without having to slide it under the table, oh my goodness. Think of the recruits that you could get. But then that might create another problem because the richest programs will continue to grow. But at the end of the day, the idea that college football players cannot get paid is the reason why we keep running into situations like this. Thanks for joining the Hot Button. Go Coach Rush. And please like and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll holla at you.